Hi everyone, and welcome to the third cell biology session for the summer. It is an all virtual class, and so what I wanted to do in this video is to welcome you to the class, give you a little bit of information on Microsoft Teams, which is the platform that we will be using, and then also give you some information about the supplies that you received on your doorstep and just some general information about what the structure of the class is going to be like. All right, so the first thing that I want to go over is this email that you got. So everyone at this point should have been added to the Microsoft Teams class, and you will have gotten an email that says, Jamie added you to the Summer Cell Biology-Holbrook class. And so what you're going to want to do is click Open Microsoft Teams. So some of you might already have this on your laptops. If you don't, you can use the web app, or you can download the Mac app if you're using a Mac, or somehow get the actual app. This is something that is already provided to you by St. Mary's Hall through Microsoft Office. So if you see right here, I'm looking at Microsoft Office. You have Teams already on there. So this is something that we actually had the ability to use, but no one actually used it very much before going virtual. But it is something that we've been training on this summer, and it is something that I've used for my anatomy class. So you guys are in luck. I've already ran a 3-week condensed semester class this summer using Microsoft Teams, and I have to say I think things went very smooth and went really well. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign in as my son, because the only way for me to actually see the student view is to see it through his account. All right, so then once you click sign in, this is what you should see. And so I have it signed in actually under my son's account. And when you go under assignment, so if you look under assignment, right here, and it might take a minute for it to load, you'll see what you have due and when it's due. And so for today, or for this demonstration, I just have the syllabus because that's something that I want to go over. Okay, so from the student view, this will be your assignment, and it's under assignments, obviously. So you'll have a list every day of the different assignments. You would click on it. You would click on the document or the video or the website, whatever it is, and it will have instructions too. So syllabus says read, then click turn in. So this will be the first thing for you to do so that I will know that you know how to use Microsoft Teams. So you'll click on the syllabus, and it'll take a little minute to load, and then you'll just read it through. So everyone knows that this is Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. There's a lot of flexibility though with that. The only thing that I ask is that the only time that you are required to do at that time is our 1 p.m. Zoom meetings. So our 1 p.m. Zoom meetings will last anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes, depending on the tasks and the objectives. But it's technically supposed to be a 1 to 4 p.m. class. And so what we'll do is we'll meet on Zoom at 1. I'll go over information from the day before. You'll share about the lab that you did or the assignment that you did. That's when you can ask questions. We'll play Kahoots. It'll be a little bit different every day, about 30 to 40 minutes. And then at 1:40, everyone hangs up the call. And what I do is I make myself available until 4 p.m. for you and I to jump on Zoom if you have questions. If you can't get there's a lab that you'll do with dialysis tubing. If you can't get your dialysis tubing to open, I can kind of talk you through it and walk you through it. And so that's how the structure will work. I'll post assignments at 8 a.m. every morning, so you can look at them beforehand, you can start them beforehand. Then at 1, like I said, we go over stuff from the day before, and then I'll explain any labs you're supposed to do. And then everything that is due that day is due at 11:59 p.m. And so hopefully everyone kind of understands that structure. You'll pick it up because it's the exact same structure every single day. I made it very, very predictable and very, very structured. So after the first day or two, you'll know exactly what to expect at any given point in time during the day. So you will get a 10-point grade for Zoom participation. And what that means is you're on the call on time, your camera's on, you're not like laying in bed at the end of, God, at the end of fourth quarter last year. I mean, I had students like, I don't even know if some of them were like dressed at all. They had like blankets over them and they're like laying in their blankets and they're laying sideways on the Zoom call. We don't do that. We don't want to do that. These were really, really sad seniors, so I let it slide. But for this class, let's sit up, let's be at a workspace, not a bed. And participation doesn't mean everyone has to talk, because I know sometimes when I get on Zoom calls with my colleagues, I get nervous and I don't want to say anything. So a lot of times I'll just ask for you to participate. If you're the type of person that just doesn't want to, that's okay. Participation is also listening. So making sure that you're listening, that you're not looking at other things while you're on the computer or the laptop, making sure you're not texting, like really paying attention, because it's not that long every day that we do a Zoom call. You know, some teachers will have you coming in and out of Zoom calls the whole 3 hours, and I'm just asking for like 30 to 40 minutes. So we shouldn't have any problems with anyone getting that participation grade each day, but I had to just make sure I said like what the etiquette is supposed to be. Daily assignments, and then this probably needs a little correction. Daily assignments, they'll be anywhere from 20 to 30 points. So if you have 2 daily assignments, they'll each be 20. If you have just one big daily assignment or one sort of big daily assignment, it'll be 30. So that will just range between 20 and 30 points. The lecture note quizzes will be, the lecture note questions. And they're called the summary questions. And the summary questions are to make sure that you actually watched the lecture video and you did the fill in the blank notes and you have a summary question. And that should really help you, because the summary questions are going to ask questions to make sure you know, did I actually get what I was supposed to get from this lecture? What did she really want me to know from this? What are the big ideas around this lecture? And then you get to put things in your own words so that I know that, that I explained it appropriately. And that I can kind of do a spot check to see if there's anything else I need to go over. So you'll have those summary questions. You'll also have concept check quizzes. These are 10 multiple choice quizzes, and they take like 10 minutes or less to complete, and they're open notes. So you'll usually have one of those probably almost every day, a 10-minute concept check quiz. Did you get what you're supposed to get from the notes? Just so you can see, if we were actually in a traditional classroom, what a quiz would actually look like a real quiz, like not an open note quiz, like a real quiz, what it would actually look like if we did that. But I can't control anyone using their notes, at least not for these summer classes. I don't have any kind of timed lockdown browser quiz test thing to use. So we're just going to go ahead and say it's open notes, and hopefully, you know, if you're moving on to AP, you will have studied those notes, because those will be necessary to know if you are moving on to AP Bio. And then we have 2 tests, and they're 100 points each. And then instead of giving you a 3rd test, I think the other classes, I think they had 3 tests. I'm not sure. I know they at least had 2, but I'm going to give you a little project at the end. Instead of having like a final exam or something, I'll give you a little project at the end. All right, so that's how the point breakdown works. Some of you are going to be a little bit uncomfortable, because I have been instructed to not use Veracross at all. And the reason is because we are transitioning over to the next school year, and this credit goes on your previous school year transcript. So this is a 2019-2020 credit, and we are rolling Veracross over like right now. As you're watching this video, they are in the process of rolling Veracross over to the next school year and getting those rosters for next year done. So therefore, I cannot do anything through Veracross. Everything's done through Teams. And you're going to like Teams. It's very user-friendly. It is so easy. Like, I haven't had anyone. I had 19 students in the anatomy class. I had 1 student already do the first week of this class, and there's been 0 issues. It is so easy to use. I love it so much. I think I'm going to use it even when we're not in a pandemic. It's so amazing. The only thing that you're going to take issue with and you're going to be uncomfortable with is I can't put any grades in Veracross. You will have grades in Teams. And so let's pretend Jacob read this. He's going to close it. So if it was a document that you needed to annotate, you would actually be able to edit the document. And then what you would do is you go up to this button and you push turn in. boom, then it's done. Then you can go back to the assignments. Oh, look. And then it gives you this really positive message when you're done with everything. This is what you want to see. This is your goal every day. Nothing left to turn in, hashtag winning. That's what you're going to want to see every day. That means everything's done and you can just relax for the rest of the day. Okay, when you are curious, I wonder what my average is in this class because I don't have Veracross to tell me because IT made it that way. You go to grades. Obviously, Jacob doesn't have any grades at this point, but what you would see is a list where I would have returned the assignment with the possible points, and then there can be feedback. So if most of the time I'm giving positive feedback, like, wow, it looks like you really understood this, oh my gosh, your lab's so interesting, thanks for such thorough explanations. And they're genuine comments, they really are, I mean them. If I write comments, I really mean them. And if I don't write comments, it doesn't mean you didn't do a good job, I just may not have had time to really write something out thoroughly, or it just looked good, and I just give you your points. So you'll have your points here. The way you calculate your grade, and I'll go over this again in our first Zoom call, is take your total points you earned and divide them by the total possible points. So nothing's weighted. So it's not like quizzes are 30%, tests are 50%, daily grades are 20%. It's just a point system. So all the points that you've earned divide by possible number of points. And so that should be pretty easy. Every Friday, though, I'm going to try to email out to everyone what their average is, just in case they're wondering. Or if there's any time that you're just like, I like to know my average every day, so can you tell me my average? You're going to have to email me and ask me, and I'll be happy to do that for you. But unfortunately, we don't have Veracross to go off of. And so Teams is just, like I said, so easy to use. You just click on the assignment and turn it in, annotate what you need to annotate and turn it in. Everything you turn in is going to be electronic. So you're probably wondering, why did I get this thick manual? The manual is those are the notes. They're the notes for the class. And the reason why I printed those out is because that's probably the most important thing you're going to get from this class is the actual notes and diagrams and the things that you jot down and the things that I talk about during lecture and the things that we discuss. Sorry, a big truck just went by my house. Okay, it's gone. All right, so you have the manual, and I do not, when I do a lecture, I do not want to take the time to wait for students to write down every word from a slide, and I don't want you to have to pause a video, pause, and write down every word that's on a slide. So if you look at your little manual, you may have it handy. If you look at it, all of the notes and diagrams are there from a Word document. So what I did is I took everything from my PowerPoint and I made a beautiful Word document of all of those PowerPoints for you. But you'll see every once in a while there's a blank. And usually the blank is a really very important word that I want to make sure you caught. And so that's supposed to keep you motivated, keep you watching, keep you paying attention, is that every once in a while you'll need to fill in a blank. And I've had pretty good outcomes with that type of note taking. I have some students that want to rewrite their notes after that, but at least with that kind of note taking, nobody's falling behind and trying to copy things down while I'm talking. I can talk, you can listen, and you can just like jot down a word here and there. So that should work out pretty well. So that's what your manual is for. So the manual's for notes. The notes are for you to study, for you to use to take quizzes, for you to use to answer questions on labs, and for you to take your test. Especially if you're moving on to AP Biology, I would say you definitely want to make sure you take some time every day to study those notes and to have those vocab words in your working memory. Very, very important, because we will cover all of these topics in AP Bio, but we go a lot deeper into them. And so having the foundation knowledge will be very, very, very important. Having some of that stuff memorized and understood will be very, very, very important. All right, and then I think, yeah, I said your other assignments, your labs will be electronic, your summary questions will be electronic, everything you turn in will be electronic. I'll need you, though, when you do labs, to take a picture of the lab and upload the photo to the document that you're turning in, but I'll tell you about that the day of the lab, so you don't have to worry about it. And speaking of labs, and so that's our syllabus. And sorry, I'll talk about labs in just a second. That's our syllabus. Contact me anytime through email. I'm usually pretty quick. Make sure that you don't turn anything late. There's a 10% penalty each day after it's due. And you got supplies at your doorstep. The supplies will go with some of the hands-on labs and little activities that I've planned for you. And then these are the topics through each day. All right, so 15 days, and those are our topics. And the last day is reserved for you to finish your genetics research. And all that is you pick a genetic disease, or you sign up for a genetic disease, and then you make an Adobe Spark page. And it's kind of like a presentation, but it's an electronic presentation. And then you turn that in for me, and that's your final grade. All right. For the labs, so I've given you some supplies in a box. There are a few other things that you need to get. Let me look at my list here so that I don't mess up. It's like just a couple of things, but I just wanted to make sure. All right, you will need sugar, dish soap, like Dawn dish soap. Any brand, it doesn't matter. I mean, Dawn works the best out of all of them, but you can have any dish soap you want. You'll need salt, and then I'm pretty sure everyone has a blender. You're probably wondering, why did this woman put a pineapple on my doorstep? It will be revealed soon, but you're going to need a blender for that. Now, I'm not going to keep it a secret. There's an enzyme in pineapples called bromelain, and it works as like a meat tenderizer. And so you're going to do a lab where you are testing the effects of temperature on the functioning of that enzyme and its ability to do its meat tenderizing activity. But instead of using meat, we're going to use gelatin because it's a protein and it's meat-like. So sugar, not that much. I don't know, like a cup or something. Dish soap, like a bottle. Salt, I think like a tablespoon of salt, and then a blender, and then you're gonna need a freezer, a stove, like basic kitchen stuff that I'm pretty sure everybody has. And I just didn't include these things. Well, obviously I wasn't gonna buy a blender for everybody because I assumed everyone had it, but I didn't put salt, sugar, or dish soap because I just thought, why take the time to package this up when like I know they're gonna have that in their kitchen. Okay, if there's any issues with obtaining any of those supplies I just told you, please let me know. Don't hesitate to let me know. We can get something figured out. So yeah, those are your supplies. There's nothing else that you need to get other than salt, sugar, dish soap, and a blender. Other than that, we will have a Zoom call on Monday at 1 p.m. And what I'll do on that Zoom call, well, actually Monday at 8 a.m., I'm going to send out a lecture, summary questions to go with that lecture, and a lab. And the first lab that we are going to do is the lab with the yeast, sugar, the baggies, and the rulers. We're going to talk a little bit about what is biology, what's the scientific method, how do you conduct an experiment and collect data, how do you analyze data. And then that's actually all we're doing for Monday. So lecture summary, we're going to have a Zoom meeting, and then you have a lab. And so I'll send all of those out at 8 a.m. We will meet at 1 p.m. for our first Zoom meeting, and then you will finish those assignments and turn them into teams. And so every day should go pretty smooth after that. The only difference is on day 2, you are then going to start your daily 10-question quizzes. Okay, and so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you'll have just 10 questions over the lecture from the day before. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. Just make sure that you can sign into Zoom, and I'd really appreciate it if everybody could go ahead and look at the syllabus and turn the syllabus in. That way I can check your name off as a person who has downloaded the Teams app or used the web app, looked at the Teams, opened an assignment, turned in an assignment, and then I know that you know how to do it. And then also in this email that you found this video, there's also the Zoom link. And with that, I will just say I'm very excited that you signed up for this class. I think you're really going to enjoy it, and I will see everyone at 1 p.m. on Monday, July 20th. Let me know if you have any questions in the meantime. See you guys later.